Hey guys, welcome back. So I'm here yet again with another data structures and algorithms code review, and today we will be looking at the longest common prefix in an array of strings. So as the question suggests, you will have an array with different strings in it with different lengths and characters. You just have to find कि सारे strings के अंदर ऐसी कौन सी सब string है जो कि सबसे ज़्यादा length की है and that has the and that's common to each and every string. So let's go into the algorithm. So first of all, I'm going to get in a vector, and I am going to then basically write out my function, which takes the array of strings and the length of the array. So now I take an empty string called ss and a vector of pairs called vs, and the pairs take the integer and string. I'll tell you what this does in a bit. So the first loop is just going to iterate over the entire array. Now the second loop is also going to do the same thing. It will just start from one element after the current element. So if I is starting from here, j starts from here. Simple. Now I have a common string which is now declared as empty, and I also have the length that I will be taking. So I'll explain this. So the len line here is basically taking the minimum out of the string at the ith and jth location. Now why is that? Let's say that you have these two, h and he. If it takes he, let's say, and starts iterating from 0 to 2, the issue is it would end up accessing elements out of bounds, and that would basically return an error. So we take the smaller element here, and plus it's better to solve or find for common substrings in that case. So once we have len, we are going to then iterate over that from 0 to that len value. And if the characters, or for every character that is common in the two strings inside the array that we're taking, it will append those characters, or it will add those characters to this empty string. So that will generate some common substring of some arbitrary length. So we still haven't found the longest substring here. For now, it's just stored. And if we don't find anything common, we just break out of the entire thing and return -1. Now, what I'm going to do is for every iteration I do, I am going to basically push back a pair of the size of the substring and the substring itself. So this is how pairs work in tandem with vectors. I can push back each individual pair instead of having to deal with pairs one by one independently. Now let's move on to the actual calculation or finding of which substring is of the longest length. So I have int max len is equal to int max. What this does is this assigns a value to max len which is the highest possible int value. Now for int I is equal to 0, basically I'm iterating over the vector of pairs now. I will check if the length of any of the substrings in the vector is less than max length. Okay, so what it's going to do is it's going to then take max length as whatever new length I have, and it's also going to basically equate this empty substring to whatever substring was stored at that length. That's it. And then I will return this. So this basically this little arrangement you see is actually a ternary operator because it works on three operators at once. So before, on the left side of the question mark, I have the condition itself, which is the substring empty? If it is, then it will return -1 because that means that nothing was common. Or if that substring is not empty, it will return whatever that substring is stored, and that's how this code works. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please come back next time. Thank you.